In this video, I'm going to be giving you specific advice on how to upgrade your equipment for every single Town Hall level. This guide is going to help you have absolutely cracked hero abilities and allow you to get a lot of power really fast. Now, before we talk about each Town Hall, let's go ahead and see what pieces of equipment are unlocked at which Town Hall levels. This chart breaks down that information really nicely for you, and as you can see, we have all pieces of common equipment unlocked by Town Hall 13. Additionally, the Giant Gauntlet is not on this chart because it's based on an event and you can get it at any Town Hall level. That being said, for the duration of this video, I'm going to assume that you have the Giant Gauntlet, so just a note if you're watching in the future. Now, our first step is to talk about Town Hall 8 to Town Hall 10. Throughout these levels, it is really important that you do not use any of your ores at all. The reasoning behind this is simple. We want to store as many ores as possible so that the moment we hit Town Hall 11, we can invest into the most powerful equipment in the game currently, the Eternal Tome. A level 3 blacksmith can store up to 20,000 shiny ore, 2,000 glowy ore, and 400 starry ore, which is more than enough storage for until you get to Town Hall 11. Now let's talk about what happens after you hit Town Hall 11. If you're storing your ores correctly, your low level warden at Town Hall 11 can easily have a max leveled Eternal Tome, which is level 12 at Town Hall 11. That means your warden will have an Eternal Tome that lasts 8 seconds. This was the equivalent of a level 40 warden back in the day, so pulling this off is absolutely insane. Now, after investing as much as you can into your Eternal Tome, you might be thinking, oh, it's time to move on to other pieces of equipment, right? Well, no. What I want you to do at this point is to save until you have 6,900 shiny ore and 600 glowy ore. Why is this the case? Well, at Town Hall 12, we unlock more levels for the Eternal Tome, and if you have those resources set up, you can have a level 15 Eternal Tome on the first day of Town Hall 12. If you get more than that amount, you can start investing into the Giant Gauntlet, which is the next best piece of equipment. And if you don't have the Gauntlet, you can start investing into the Invisibility Vial. However, make sure that you don't invest into both of these at once, and to only invest once you have 6,900 shiny ore and 600 glowy ore. Alright, now let's talk about the plan at Town Hall 12. Town Hall 12 gets us the level 5 blacksmith, which allows our equipment to be upgraded to level 15. Now, if you saved up the 6,900 shiny ore and 600 glowy ore, you could have a level 15 Eternal Tome, which would give you 9 seconds of invincibility, just half a second off the max. Whatever your case is, once you have a max Eternal Tome for Town Hall 12, you can start investing into other pieces of equipment. This is because we don't get additional levels for the Eternal Tome until we hit Town Hall 14. My first priority at this point would be to max out as much as possible on the Giant Gauntlet. If you've already maxed this or you're waiting for some starry ores, you can start working on the Invisibility Vial. Now, for those of you that are wondering why I'm only mentioning these 3 pieces of equipment, there's 2 reasons why. First of all, these are the 3 best pieces of individual equipment in the game right now, which you can find in my ranking equipment video. Second of all, if you're investing all your ores into a single piece of equipment at a time, it takes a long time to get all the ores in that equipment and finish your upgrade. And because we don't have to do hero upgrades anymore, our time through the earlier Town Halls ends quickly, especially if you're strategic rushing, which is something I always recommend. Moving on, let's talk about what happens when you finally hit Town Hall 13. At this level, there is no new Eternal Tome levels, so we don't have to worry about this as it should already be maxed for its level. You can keep investing into the Giant Gauntlet, but if it's maxed or you're waiting for starry ores, then you can invest into the Invisibility Vial. However, when we get to Town Hall 14, we're obviously going to be upgrading the blacksmith and then going for those last 3 levels on your Eternal Tome. So like before, you want to start saving shiny and glowy ores for those upgrades on day 1. You're going to require 7,800 shiny ore and 600 glowy ore to make this work. Now, the time that this is going to take you is going to vary, but I would generally recommend that you start saving your glowy ores 2 weeks before you hit Town Hall 14 and your shiny ores about a week and a half before you hit Town Hall 14. Alright, moving on to Town Hall 14, this is where we start to focus on these equipment a bit more than we already have. have. First of all, when that new level of the blacksmith drops, you're going to immediately max the Eternal Tome for the Grand Warden. After this, keep working on your Giant Gauntlet until that is maxed too. However, do not max the Giant Gauntlet after level 18, and for those of you that watched my maxing epic equipment isn't worth it video, you guys know exactly why. After this, we're going to take the time to max our invisibility vial for the Queen. Now naturally, we're going to have a lot more time at Town Hall 14, simply because this is where we start to catch up on all of our upgrades from before. So this begs the question, which equipment do we start upgrading after the top 3? Well, the first one is going to be Seeking Shield, because not only is this a really good ability, but the RC has no good equipment yet due to the strategy that we used. If you eventually get the Seeking Shield maxed as well, then you'll have 4 pieces of maxed equipment, and every hero is going to have at least 1 piece of maxed equipment. After this, you would start looking at synergy for your equipment, which I made a guide on as well. My personal recommendation is to go with the equipment that has the best synergy right now, and that is the Healing Tome for the Grand Warden. There still seems to be some debate whether the Vamp Stash or the Rage Vial is better to pair with the Giant Gauntlet, so the synergy isn't super clear there. The Queen's Invisibility Vial has okay synergy with the Healer Puppet, but I reckon this isn't the best combination to invest into at the moment. And because the RC has only 1 set of equipment available, I feel like we will get other equipment for it sooner rather than later, and thus I wouldn't invest too much into the Life Gem. Thus, the Healing Tome is the safest option to invest into. If anyone does get to the point where they have all of this equipment maxed and the Giant Gauntlet at level 18, then you can either go with the Rage Vial or the Vamp Stash based on what the current meta is. And after that, just do whatever you want, because at this point you're a boss, to be honest. Now, I'm not going to talk specifically about Town Hall 15 or Town Hall 16 because their upgrade guides aren't different from the Town Hall 14 guide. However, there are some things you need to consider if you're at these Town Hall levels. First of all, get to the highest league possible so that you get more and more ores. If you're closer to max, consider going to Legends League so you get the most ores possible. Second, make sure you're doing your core defenses so you get higher war weight. This will allow you to be higher in war and hit higher targets, which will get you the most amount of ores per war. Lastly, even though you don't get anything but more storage and some Giant Gauntlet levels, you should still max your blacksmith. This is because if new equipment gets released, you want to be able to make sure that you can get them immediately, just in case they're really strong. Moving on, one of the most important things that you guys need to consider when you're investing into equipment is longevity. Longevity is the amount of time that an equipment will stay relevant, especially with the new pieces of equipment coming out. Now, obviously, this is going to be a tough thing for us to plan out, but some pieces of equipment will just have amazing longevity, such as the Eternal Tome. Thus, make sure to consider longevity when you're deciding what pieces of equipment to upgrade after the ones I already mentioned in this video. Now, here's the thing though, unless you know why I made certain pieces of equipment a priority, you're probably really confused right now. You might be asking questions like, where's the Rage Vial for the Grand Warden? And if that's the case, you need to watch this video right here where I rank all pieces of common equipment and tell you why they're good or maybe not as good as you think.